And yes, we are now officially live, honey. So yes, hello, welcome everybody to the Black Diaries, honey. The Black Diaries, honey. Yes. Welcome everybody. You know, we're going to take this first couple of seconds to share. So if everyone that's coming in, thank you for coming in, and please share this lovely video. We got lots to discuss. We have been away for a week, but now we are here and we are back, honey, and we appreciate all your love. I'm gonna go ahead and do some shareizations before we start. And yeah, we have quite some topics to talk about today, don't we, y'all? It's been a week. It's been a week. I haven't really been here, and now it is time to get things popping. Crazy. All right, I put it there. I'm gonna put it on my Instagram as well. And of course, thank you all for joining in. Everyone that's watching, if y'all don't mind sharing as well. We love to see it. We love to see it. We'll do that. Icon, what are you doing, bro? All right, let's see.
She froze. They froze.
And of course, thank you all for joining. Oh, there I am.
There you are.
And I'm also going to pin our comments in the Venmo, our Venmo comment section. So make sure you don't be shy.
It's about to be the first try.
This new Facebook layout got me all kinds of confused.
I don't like it. I really don't like it.
I'm sure I'll get used to it, but
very
right now I'm
different.
like, how do I share? What's going on? Who am I?
Right.
Which one is me?
Not who am I?
Exactly.
All right, yeah, pin the comment. And yes, so if y'all could just come on in. Do not be shy. Give us a share. Give us a like. Give us some love. You know, remember, I know it's not Black June anymore, but we still have lots to say and lots to discuss.
Not
so
Black
come
June.
on in. Black June. Black June. I mean, Black Diaries was so like insanely crazy in Black June, and now it's like people don't really care anymore about what we have to say because it's not the current trend online.
Terrible.
Oh, we're going to be talking about that too as well today. So I have listened. It's been a while for me since I've been on live, so I have lots to talk about today. I mean, hey Howard, yes,
So you was
Howard.
online yesterday.
I was doing a show yesterday. I was not talking yesterday. So let's be clear.
Oh my God.
All right.
Let's be clear.
My goodness.
Okay. It's church and state. Church and state. No, I'm joking. Icon is coming. We just they're having a little bit of internet problems, but Icon is and will be here, Henty. So join on in, and thank you for the love and the support, Henty.
Honey, if you like a spicy salsa.
Ooh.
What happened?
I made a homemade
Kevin's
salsa.
here. Hey, Kevin.
To this day, I can't find the salsa that you made. I can't.
Where the fuck y'all been? I wasn't feeling well last week, so I had to take a little break. But thank you for coming back, though. We back. Hello, Barry Tyler Moore.
Oh
yes, hello.
All these
Patty
people.
Listone. I love it. If everyone can just share, please share this in the comments so we can get this out there. And can someone share in the groups and stuff too? I'm really bad at doing the groups and stuff.
I shared.
And if y'all don't like, thank you. And if y'all do not like Facebook, I'm also on YouTube as well. I know some people like to watch stuff on YouTube, so it's up to you. But we're going to do that. So I guess we should go ahead and start. Icon will join in, but I want to go ahead and talk about just a couple of things right now. And I appreciate, of course, everyone for watching. And thank you. First of all, I want to go ahead and introduce my lovely panel. It seems like forever since I've talked to y'all. And I'm so sad, but I'm so happy to be back. So make some noise for my lovely, and we realize it's also a family affair here. So make some noise for my daughter, Paula Deen-White. Everybody is back with us. Yes, hello,
Hello.
And we also have the lovely Miss Peaches is here. Yes, Miss Peaches. And Miss Peaches' drag mother, we have Diva Luvsit in the house. And then, of course, we have the very lovely, the blue backdrop beauty, Sapphira Cristal, everybody. Yes. And their very, very first time is in the Black Girl Magic, Black Diaries. I can't even know the name of my own show. Very first time at Black Diaries. We're so happy to have Marcus G, everybody. Yes. And that is Sapphira Cristal's baby. And I think we're just in time for the birthday love. Make some noise for Icon Ebony-Fierce.
Ah,
Happy birthday. Something.
Thank you.
Birthday.
Hey,
Thank you for
hey,
being
okay.
patient. Thank you for being patient during my ratchet ass internet moments. Everyone
It's
out
okay,
there.
boo.
It's all right.
I love
Venmo
y'all.
icon Ebony-Fierce, the black and
Miss you
white
too.
photo for internet bills.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Honestly, or my emotional distress. Okay.
Oh my goodness gracious. Well, again, we appreciate you all for watching and thank you all again. Remember to share so we can get all the love and the support. And of course, all of our Venmos are up and I pinned them in the comments. So don't be shy. Give us a little try. But now, before we get started, I want to go ahead. Well, let's get started. I want to go ahead and talk about some topics that we have to talk about today. There's been so much that's been happening. We haven't been here, like I said, in a week. So now we have a lot to talk about. And I just want to talk about some things very quick. Now, the first thing that I've been seeing online, and actually it's so funny because my roommate, Nick, shout out to Nick, gets this magazine called Wired. And it's like a computer magazine, but their cover is great because it talks about the evolution of digital blackface. And that's what I want to talk about is digital blackface. We've talked about other things. We've never talked about digital blackface before. And then their description says on TikTok, users drape themselves in the trappings of Black culture and steal the virtual spotlight. So I want to go ahead and ask you all and talk to you all how you all feel about digital blackface and how it has been affecting everyone. TikTok is a huge part of that. I know I've been seeing a lot of that. Also on Instagram as well. And it even goes to the memes and stuff that people use and also that Reface app that's really popular now that people are doing and people are putting themselves on black skin. I would love to talk about it. So I'm opening up the floor for anybody that wants to start off talking about digital blackface.
I'll say it took me a second to realize what it was because I was confused. I thought it was something similar or akin to stop music. The other stop music. What's happening?
What is going on?
Is it Icon? It's Icon.
That sounds like some icon music.
It definitely is Icon. Definitely Icon.
90s icon hip hop music.
It took me a second to realize what it was. I didn't know what it meant. So I had to do a little research to figure out what people were talking about. And for those of you who don't know, it's essentially like a white teen is copying mini leaks, mannerisms or things for like just to get views. And you're like, yeah, a lot of people do similar things, but that's not your culture. It's not someone who you don't have that. What am I trying to say? God damn, I had too much wine already. Go ahead.
Because we all stand Ariana. We love our Ariana Grande, but I mean, I must say, Homegirl has been doing the whole tan skin and stuff like that for a long time. She's not black, but she uses that motif to sell her music, to sell her image, and I think that's also a part of it. What do you all think?
That was included, but I feel like the difference is because that's like brown fishing.
Right,
which is a black fishing. Well, it's under that the same umbrella.
Yeah.
But this specifically is like using memes that are black people and
Appropriation.
Yeah, and copying them. Like you're not changing your color or anything. It's just utilizing those images, those memes, those videos, doing the dances that come. So it's like it's taking cultural components and utilizing them to push themselves further, like more to make themselves more popular. I'm going to do this video because it's popular right now, but also I get that it's popular, but it's not your culture that you're taking and exhibiting and pushing forward and probably getting more credit than people.
Well, they are definitely getting more credit.
Yeah, so that's what the difference between the digital blackface is versus blackfishing or brown fishing or blackface. So that's what it was hard for me to figure out, but I got the words out eventually.
I could talk about this forever. My biggest problem with this overall and with anything involving cultural appropriation is that Black people have not profited off our own culture as much as when white people do it. I think that's the biggest problem. You don't want to hire Black people. You don't want to get Black people involved with your things. You rather just steal it and, hoard all the money. And then you're left with people calling Black people ghetto, ratchet, and whatever, and demonize them based on something we created. Then you recreate it and you make loads of money off of it. That's the issue. Like,
I mean,
and they also. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
When you think about the fact that every Becky, Jennifer, and Haley is wearing purple and red hair, and like all of a sudden now it's cool, but back in the 90s when we were wearing purple, red, green, whatever hair, it was ghetto. Mm-hmm. And like when you think about the fact that this is a cool article, but it's always happened, honey. We make the culture that everyone loves right now was made by us. And so it's interesting that this is something that's coming out because it finally acknowledges something that everyone knows, everyone has been saying. Lots of Black people have always said it. Like, if it weren't for us, you wouldn't have rap, you wouldn't have jazz, you wouldn't have like most
rock
of the
and roll.
Rock and roll.
Absolutely.
Like Elvis was one of the first people to have not digital blackface, but before rock and roll was stolen by Elvis. So like when you think about people coming into a space and going, oh, I like this, but I bet that I can get more out of this if I do it than if they do it. And then they do it, and then they get paid from it, but you don't like pay it back or pay it forward. You could. Whenever I come across something that like I might have benefited from that I saw someone else do first, I will tip them for it. I will make sure that I give them some of the money. Like, who was it? I forget whose music it was. I was going to, but I was like, I made so much money from you. Like, here.
Well, that would be nice.
Here's this.
I think that some people would just like the credit, because I'm sure I cannot think of. There was a Black woman who was like one of the first originators of the rock and roll genre who did things with her guitar that nobody else did before. Then that was just stolen. I can't think of her name right now, but it's like that's a part of the issue. It's like give the credit. It's not that Elvis stole things. It's necessarily it's that if he just simply it's just insane. Like it could have been his producers that or whatever. Like I don't know the back.
Elvis went to the churches. Elvis went to the spaces. It's what happened. It's documented several times over. There's so many documentaries about this thing happening. But like beyond Elvis, it's happened all the time. Every time there's a Black hit on the radio, it doesn't happen anymore. But back in the day, every single time there was a Black hit, there was a white version of that hit. And so and they depict that even in Dreamgirls because
they do. Yeah, they do.
And Hairspray.
And Hairspray. Whenever there's a white hit, whenever there's a Black hit, it was a hit. And the reason why you like it so much is because these people sang it. But white people wanted to listen to a white person sing it. I think that's what the executives made them think. You could not be, and that I think it all stems from the segregation era when white people did white things and Black people did Black things. And now, so if you're going to be if there's going to be something popular, there needs to be a white person to do it to make it
correct. And that's kind of where I want to go too with this, because I've noticed that I personally don't like going on TikTok, seeing all these, especially like white gay men try to act like they're Black women. And like that to me irks soul. And then they get all the views, all the loves, all the likes. And then if a Black person does it, they get called ratchet, ghetto, not like you, blah, blah, blah. But if a white person does it, it's funny, it's entertaining. And that's the same when it even goes down to something like the Real Housewives. People want to deem the Real Housewives of Atlanta so ghetto and ratchet, yet they are the highest rated television show on that channel. Chantal.
We know why, though. We know why, because that's the show.
That's the show.
The one that they all fight on. The Housewives at Hollywood or the other ones, they don't want to.
That's why it's at Hollywood. Yeah, but and that's a. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, Vicky put a good question.
I was gonna actually go to that. I was gonna go to that. So So this is a good question. In a drag sense, where do you all think the line is for this? Can a white queen use "Smell Your Dick," aka Paula, in a mix? New York shoes rant would so they would like to appreciate our thoughts on that. So if someone wants to talk about that.
Well, I just recently did that song, and I will say that was difficult for me to do. Like, I feel like I am proper, as people say, but I'm actually real hood, and people seem to, just because I speak differently, they don't get that. And I feel like I'm fronting sometimes, like I'm putting on a front when I do some of my favorite rap songs. But
why do you feel that way?
A part of my culture, just because I feel like other people don't see that for me. I still do it, which means I don't care what other people see and think. It's just that I do have it in the back of my head. I do think about it. I'm like, oh, this is gonna look bad, or people are gonna think this or that. And I obviously, because I still produce the content, I'm like, fuck that thought.
I just want to put this out there. When people ask questions like this, I always say this: Black people are not a monolith. We all don't have the same viewpoints. As far as a lot of people that I know, they don't. As far as the audience, I've always heard people not really be a big fan of white kings doing mixes that include AAVE, African American Vernacular English. My thing is, if you want to perform to Beyonce, that's cool. But if it's like Formation or a song talking about the Black experience, or a mix talking about being Black and about the Black experience, don't do that.
Yeah, it's something. It takes.
Don't do Brown Skin by India Irie. Don't do Brown Skin. Don't do Formation. Don't do a mix saying I'm a strong Black woman. Don't.
It's all about situational awareness.
Yeah,
it's all about knowing the context of the music that you're using, or like you said, the New York shoes rant. I think that would be fine. But again, it's not everyone's. But smell your dick, I don't necessarily think so. I feel like if you have to bleep out the N-word because that's not a word you should be using, you should probably just not do the song.
Yeah.
It's like,
because we all sit around and wait for you to say it.
It's really a situational awareness type of thing. Okay. Like, just know the situation that is surrounding that music or that rant or that pop culture moment, whatever it may be. It's just acknowledge what is happening in it before you take from it to use it for yourself.
Paul, I'll be real with you because working downtown, working at the clubs or whatever, when we play the songs, and so the crowds, will be packed with, everybody be in there, but it's majority white sometimes. So what happens is the songs that come on and saying, N-word, da, 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 you would scope the room and see, who's going to say the entire room.
Every time.
The entire room.
Everyone says it. They don't care.
They don't care. They don't care because they all think that they're Nicki Minaj. They all think that they're fucking Nicki Minaj. So they're like, oh, well, I can do what I want to do. And
they request the song.
So I have a question. If let's say someone, because it's easier to say, clearly no one of white people of non-Black experience shouldn't be using the N-word. But what about people who are doing what's her name? A Cardi B song. And she is definitely Black in a way. But she's Black. She's Black, right? She's Black.
No, honey.
She's Dominican and Dominicans are Black, right?
Dominicans have African lineage. Yes.
Yes. And she definitely like has like features that are definitely Negroid. But my question is like, is there like, but when people see her, they don't see a black person as the same as they see when they see Megan Thee Stallion. And I just want to, for a second, just say, fist up for Megan Thee Stallion, because it's very rare that we see a beautiful, dark-skinned black
brown skin girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, doing what she's doing.
Speaking of, I think Barry Tyler Moore posted this saying also how many of these cis white gay men doing the WAP dance are were saying shit like vaginas are gross not too long ago and all kinds of stuff like that. I've been seeing a lot of people do that. And I know that some white people I know are very that love that song and think that they are Megan and Cardi, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, it's
maybe
it's,
I mean, how many?
They had cleaned up my news feed, but I have not.
Okay, I was thinking the same thing. Maybe I got rid of all those friends because I don't know.
It's more so on Instagram. It's more so on Instagram for me. That's what I've been seeing. But yeah, it's a lot, and I think that for digital blackface, and I love what they were talking about in this magazine. They were just saying like it's the thing where a lot of people, a lot of white people. Oh well, here look, I love this quote on TikTok. Creators embody blackness within amateur-driven veracity. I can't read all these words. We'll come back to it, but it's really good for what they were saying because she smoked a little bit. But yeah, I just think that what this magazine also is saying is just talking about how white folks are truly using what people are doing nowadays and truly using our culture to embody, to get likes and get views. And for me, that's not okay. I really don't like that. So yeah. So that's one thing. I definitely want to show you all a video now, something that I saw online. It is something from the BBC overseas, but I definitely think that it kind of can play effect here. Yeah, have you ever heard that channel? That's where they did Drag Race on. All right, here we go. Let's see. All right, and we're gonna play this right quick. So here we go.
Ever shared this? Or this? Nothing like a good reaction GIF, right? But you've probably noticed most popular ones are of black people being dramatic. This is digital blackface. Blackface is when a non-black person uses makeup to blacken up. Minstrel shows depicted black people in all sorts of negative ways. They were mocking, demeaning stereotypes, and they exaggerated black people's facial features and their expressions. And digital blackface is the 21st century version of that. White people using GIFs to perform some kind of exaggerated blackness. And that's not all. Let's talk about white people using dark-skinned emojis. This is a form of cultural appropriation, paying little respect to someone else's culture and using it however you please. What's wrong with white people posting these GIFs and using these emojis? Well, black people are not here for other people's entertainment. We're not symbols of excessive emotion, and we aren't here to make you look more sassy, more sexy, or more street. We don't want to be seen as having two-dimensional personalities. Let us decide for ourselves how we wish to be perceived. Now, I'm not saying you have to be black to post these GIFs, but what I am saying is think about what you're doing. Ask yourself why you're always drawn to that GIF or that emoji. So that's my view, but what do you think?
Okay. So, what do you all think?
I wish someone would use a dark skin emoji.
Okay.
All right. I have not seen that.
Not at all. That's the one thing I said. Okay, the gifts. That doesn't bother me. If they weren't posting the black gifts, I'd ask why are you only posting the white ones. But them using the emoji, I would. No. I wish.
No.
Wow.
I can't. People are really doing it.
I haven't. I've also not experienced that. I can think of the circumstances in which people might try it, though.
I think if anybody's friends with someone who's not black and they're using a black emoji, you don't talk to that person. Period. I'm sorry. That's what. No, I never even thought that was a thing. That never even crossed my mind.
Yeah, me either. Until she said that, and then I'm like, oh.
I was baffled.
I was like, it took so long for. because before emojis
Well, maybe
were always just yellow.
It's over there in Europe somewhere then.
It's like,
oh my god!
It was like originally emojis they were just yellow. They were just like
Right.
golden yellow,
Yeah,
and then they got to be white, and then the one real dark one came later.
I'm gonna be honest with you. They should have just left it yellow. I feel like I don't know. I like the fact that, okay, it's just like, okay, now if anything is more separated because now we have to choose. I don't know. I just would have left it yellow.
Okay, yeah, and this is a lot also like what Marsha's saying too. So are we okay with white folks using like that Nene Woo Child the Ghetto gift? I'm not. I always think it's problematic as hell when people use like the gifts and stuff. I think it's so problematic. I really do.
Even just boiling it down to someone in general, some white person in general saying, "Oh, that's so ghetto," or "This is ghetto," and I'm like, "What do you know about the ghetto?"
And we've talked about that on this before. How I've even gotten introduced on stage as like my name ratchet and ghetto, and like and I know Peaches has talked about that. How a queen has called them ratchet and ghetto on the mic before, and I just think that that's so not okay. It's not okay to do, and like. I think that if you're going to do stuff like that, you're going to have to understand and educate yourself that there are lots of memes out there, lots of gifts out there. And if you think that using the Nene gift is in your thing, and if you think saying the word ratchet and ghetto is okay to you, then maybe you should really rethink some things and try to think back on some things because it's not good. The questions are coming in today. Hold on. So I have a question, y'all. So white people forgive Judy Gardner, who played Dorothy, and get defensive when POC people say that they cancel her for doing blackface. What do y'all say? German, I saw your post, and I did see, like, low-key, I did see you kind of getting dragged on Facebook by a lot of people online. And I mean, I didn't really have a lot to say about it, but I would love to.
I don't know her. I watched The Wiz.
Thank you.
Oh, not The Wiz.
I'm gonna be real. I've seen The Wizard of Oz once.
The first one, and I fell asleep.
I've seen The Wizard of Oz once, honey. I've seen The Wiz countless times.
I just don't know. I just don't know about this scenario. I've watched The Wiz and The Wizard of Oz multiple times, but I just don't. I don't know much about
that. I like seasoning salt, pepper, garlic, salt, and lemon pepper, and stuff like that. So I never really got the chance.
Because we've talked about canceling on here in general before, and it's like it's a very divided topic.
I'm so tired.
I feel like I know, so I just like I feel like Judy Garland is dead. I don't care if that, like, unless she's not dead. Did I make a mistake? That's Liza Minnelli's mom.
No, she's
been dead. Yeah, she did. So I don't care. Yeah. Like she gone. Well, forgive her.
She gone, girl.
She don't care if I forgive her. I don't know about it. I'm sorry. But generally speaking, I don't know. I feel like people, if like this cancel thing, I think people just use the word willy-nilly, but it's like if people are making amends for their actions, their transgressions that they have done, then of course just forgive them or just don't worry about them. Like I don't hold things. There are no grudges here, and even when people do things that are negative and then they don't make amends for them, I don't think about them anymore. Like I don't focus on them. I unfollow, I unfriend.
I think everyone is fake nowadays. I feel like everyone's fake nowadays. I feel like everyone hides behind a facade. Everyone tries to smile at everyone's face. Oh, I love you. Oh, you don't love me.
You ain't gotta talk about me like this.
Oh my goodness. I know Peaches is having internet problems. Peaches, can you still hear? Is it still skipping? Oh, I think so.
Peaches, you there?
Peach.
I think the internet.
You just ratchet and ghetto internet.
What'd you say?
Can you hear us?
Oh, she gone.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Well, I was going to see if you can hear us.
I don't.
Can you hear us?
You can.
Damn.
Yeah, it's like on. I barely can hear anything.
Oh. Well, listen. Somebody said Peaches looks mean as hell.
Because y'all forgot.
I was like.
Listen, stay with us and hang out with us. I mean, if hopefully something happens. Because I want you to be a part of it. But yeah, so To wrap up the digital blackface, I obviously we all pretty much have the same opinion that it's not okay. It's not right, but it's okay. We're not going to make it anyway. No, I'm joking. But yeah, it's I don't appreciate it. I don't like when white people try to take what we are known for and what we are like, what made like what we do, and I don't like how they do it, because I'm telling you, and that's the same thing I was talking about in the Black community when we as drag queens. I was saying that because the Tyler Perrys and the Martin Lawrences can get away with doing stuff like that because they're funny, versus somebody like some people like us that take drag really seriously will get the will get looked at differently. And I do feel like the same thing with the digital blackface, as far as the white people doing stuff that we are known for and they're making it popular. But if we do it, we get looked at as like ratchet or ghetto. So it's crazy to me. But yeah, I think it's insane. I do want to move on to something else that was discussed on Facebook. There was a status that happened on Facebook just recently, and I would love to discuss and talk about this. I'm going to put it up here. So I'm going to maybe skim through it, but someone said a legit question from a cis white man that does drag. I have seen something come up in conversation over the past few months, and I would love to get thoughts from Black folks as well as cis and trans women. It is pretty well established that it is inappropriate to wear someone's lived experience as a costume, especially someone with privilege in regards to someone marginalized. For example, it is not okay for a white person to impersonate a Black person, a white queen painting to look like a Black person. I have seen arguments from cis and trans women that the same logic applies to men impersonating a woman and wearing manhood as a costume. In other words, a man doing drag. In both cases, you have systemic. I can't.
Systemic.
Okay. Yes, I can't even try it. Systemic oppression, as well as the oppressor impersonating the oppressed for the same desired outcome. So their question is, are they the same thing? So as a cis, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so they want to know that. So let's talk about that status. That status struck quite a nerve online, and I want to know what people think about that. So go for it. Not all at once.
Can you break it down one more? I'm sorry, I'm slow. Can you break it down one more time with the person?
So pretty much like they said that they were comparing white people using Black culture as the same as cis males impersonating drag. Is that okay? Because doing blackface is not okay. So what do you? Yeah.
Okay.
Break it down, Icon.
Yes,
break it down.
I guess. All right. So the problem I had with that was it kind of made it seem like, well, in the comments, it kind of made it seem like, blackface was just a popular form of entertainment when Black people did not like that shit then, just like now. Let's get that out of the way. We got to stop thinking that the standard is white. And that's one big example, is by saying shit like that. Also, gender is a construct. Like, there is no standard form of gender. And honestly, back then, there was a different form, like standard of gender back then, because, women, could only wear pants at one point. Men dress some sort of way, and it's a culture to culture sort of thing. Also, drag started by trans women. So, with pageant drag and everything like that, it was started by trans women. I don't know. I felt like that was kind of all over the place for me. It's not the same. Blackface is dehumanizing, Black people. And they used Black people as circus puppets, and even had, various things like they fed Black babies to alligators at certain stops. In Florida, at circus shows, it's not the same. It's not the same.
It's like piggybacking off of that. It's like gender, as someone said, gender is a construct. Gender is an idea. And then gender norms are ideas that are held by the culture that you're born into. Being Black is not an idea. It's an actuality. So I can at any point, I can say, I am a man, I am a woman, I am non-binary, I am not gender non-conforming. Like, I can be any of those things at any given point in my timeline of life. Like, if tomorrow I'm like, I'm no longer I'm no longer non-binary, I'm a man. That's how I identify. That would be okay. I would still be Black. Like, you can't wash that off. You can't change it. You can't say. I mean, and Rachel Dolezal, bless her heart, she talked about it.
Was
but
that
it's
German
like,
lady?
What's that?
The German lady who changed her skin tone to Black?
Oh no, that's a different person.
She was Black, and she claimed that she was Black and swore up and down.
Yeah, and like Rachel Dolezal, like I've actually done some research on her, and she has a very interesting story. However, transracialism is what she says. Like, I'm trans race. I think that's what she said. Trans ethnic. Anyway, that's not the case. It's literally, I'm born with this on me. It's not something that is a show for you. Which is why blackface. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
She can go to the. So she said trans race means like she can go to a doctor and now she can.
Well, no, she said that she just identified as a Black woman, even though she was born white, because of how she was raised. And I believe she had adopted sisters who were Black, and she identified more with them than her white family. Like, there's a lot to her story. However, no, it's like racist. Like, we're born with it. And like, a lot of people want to say, I don't see color. I don't see the line. And like, yes, if you don't see color, that's not a good thing. You see color. Well, it's like, that's not a good thing. Like, we are, like, the reason the colors are, like, there's a thing, like, someone said it on a Facebook post and I read it. I am not a Christian. I'm sorry. But someone was like, God made all these different colors for a reason. And if you don't see it, you're not seeing the beauty of God's creation. And I was like, damn, I'm not even a Christian. And I love that shit. So I was like, yes, I'll go with that.
But also,
so race is a thing. Race is like a physical thing, whereas gender is not. That's
correct.
The difference.
And that's what I want. I want to go ahead and piggyback off of you and Icon's statements, because I personally don't think that it's the same at all. And I know that in the thread, a lot of what would they say? A lot of cis women were having a lot of opinions, and I was like, but you don't. Yeah, so I was like, I'm confused. Yes. Oh, okay. So that's why I was like, I personally think it's completely I'm with y'all in the comments. Two completely different things. I identify. I'm gonna be wrong. I identify as male, and I do drag. Drag for me is an entertainment business. Everyone does drag for like whatever reason they want to do drag. There's millions of reasons why people want to do drag. Whether it's insecurities, whether it's performance, whether it's they feel better, whether it's that's their outlet. Like, that's really what everybody wants. However they want to do drag, that's their life. That's what they want to do. Me personally, I do drag for the performance aspect, and I love the art form and the makeup and stuff like that. So I personally, and I identify as a gay male, and I'm a gay Black male. So it's like, you can't. I'm not going to sit up there and say, well, I am discrediting any woman because I'm dressing up as a woman. I'm not saying I'm discrediting anybody. I think what Shea Coulee said best on Drag Race was, it's a love letter to Black women. My drag is more so a love letter to the African culture. But yeah, it's like, I think that, and also African women, because a lot of times, even more so than Black women, African women don't get any kind of representation at all. So that's what my main focus is. And so I don't think that I'm doing anything wrong by doing drag, and I don't think that I don't think I'm being misogynistic or anything towards women because there is a Vinchell. I do think that I am just empowering women and doing all kinds of stuff as well. And also, we can talk about like the norm of doing drag, like the padding and stuff like that. That's something that can change. I do think that a lot of people are closed-minded when it comes to drag and padding, and even myself, I can maybe open my eyes and even, you know, living in Philadelphia, I've gotten to see a lot more different types of drag. Because, you know, when you first come into drag, you think padding, singed in waist, big boobs, and a lace front. That's what you think, but that's not all what drag is. And I don't think that, and that's one thing that a lot of people should understand and learn. But again, we're not being misogynistic towards any woman. Go ahead, Sapphira.
If you look at Barry Tyler Moore's last comment, is
this one?
And so when it comes to race, it's like race actually was another concept that was created to divide us. There is one race, it's the human race. If you there are so many talks on this. Like, this was a thing that was created so that the elite could control the lower people. So like, if you're infighting about your race, then you're not concentrating on the fact that all the people up here actually are controlling everything. So, and it happened way more recently than we believe happened. Like, the concept of race is not as old as we think it is. And so, and like she said, there's no reason. That's the reason why, because gender is like such a
spectrum.
Thank you. Because gender is such a spectrum, that's the reason why you can be transgender, but you can't be actually transracial, because race was the real concept that was created.
Yeah.
My problem with people saying transracial is that can any of us walk up to a KKK meeting and say, "I'm white"? No.
No.
You can't. No, you can't.
You said it bad.
Well, then people say Michael Jackson can, and then people say
Not do that.
Let's not go there.
No, but the reason I say that is because
now he had the vitiligo, and everybody know that's why.
No. The vitiligo didn't turn him that damn white.
But no, he had he couldn't go on the red carpet.
No, we ain't going this.
See, Michael had to beat his skin into a white.
Marcus, that is not my point.
No. Oh my God.
My point in saying that is that there is a woman, like, I think she's either Russian or German, or no,
Martina.
Dutch.
Martina, the German woman,
the Dutch lady who got melanin injections, and she literally is darker than me. She's darker than all of us, honestly. But she has these weird features. She's got these big lips put on her.
Hold on, go back. What?
She looks crazy.
Oh my God!
Somebody did what now?
Martina.
She's transracial. Let me.
Someone posted her name.
Oh God!
Give me a photo, and I'll.
So she was a model. She was a model. It was a mess. What up? Oh yeah,
Crazy.
she was a model, and she's a very, very fair skinned, white, blonde, and like she was like, I just appreciated African culture, and I wanted to become African, and has skin injections to darken her skin. She has like super huge implants, super huge, but like facial reconstructive surgery, and then she has her hair texturized as well.
There she is. Put it closer.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Now let me explain something. Do y'all know that?
I'm sending it to you. I'm sending you a picture.
They can take your melanin and sell it. Your melanin has a price on it, so you be careful, because these people, they buy your melanin and they inject it.
I don't know about all that.
Oh, look it up.
Oh my goodness.
I'm gonna very expensive.
I may have had to.
If I'm gonna be
selling it, I need some money. My job just ended.
That's what she looked like before. Horrible. Now she look. Never mind.
But then she went to I forget which country, but she was like.
So hold on.
It was a mess.
So Icon sent me a video. Hold on, everybody. I got it. Icon sent me a video. We're gonna watch it for a hot second, and it's a long one, so we're not gonna watch the whole thing. But
she talks about having the experience and not having the
the voice don't even go.
Let's watch it. I've seen this. I've seen her before, but I've never seen the video. So here we go. Let's see.
It's the voice for me.
You all right? Yeah, fine. Good. Began life in Germany as a light-skinned blonde girl, making headlines around the world when she had injections to change the color of her skin.
Over the past 2 years, Martina Big has radically altered her appearance in order to become a black woman, and this morning has followed every step of her controversial story.
When I was younger, I admired the curves of Pamela Anderson. My next step is going to pump up my lips also. My eye color has changed. My brow color has changed. And I can feel in myself that I'm changing to a black woman. I like the curves of
his reaction.
He said,
step by step.
Her new husband, Michael. And good morning to both of you. Thank you for joining us here today. So,
Okay, hold on.
Their reaction, their faces watching her.
They don't want to do this interview. They don't.
It's one of those situations I can't even get mad. It's just it's hot.
And then what the hell he wearing?
Oh my God.
Honey is being supportive.
Well, look,
not the white man in the dashiki.
I just want to clarify. I want to clarify. I'm not necessarily laughing at them. I'm laughing at this situation. Because I think it's sad, but just those newscasters' facial reactions to stuff. Just watching it, they're like, All
right, let's continue. I'm gonna watch a little bit more of this. I am already. The white man and the hold on, everybody. The white man and the dashiki has me. That's what got it for me. All right, let's go.
Difference there. I mean, we have been following your story, and you were never comfortable with your natural appearance, the one you were born with.
I liked my natural blonde beauty, but also it's like tuning. If boys get a new car, they start tuning, and then they say, "Oh, it's not the result. Let's find a matching piece," and then it's going to be more and more. And if you see the car they got and they have now,
so it's a work in progress.
Yeah.
But what was it that made you realize that you wanted to change?
At first, I only want to have Samaten, and this new medicine, they told us it is will protect the skin against the sun and will make more tan. But at this point, they didn't know that it will work really. For me, it works really, really good.
So this is the melatonin injections, and this was your surgeon. It cost £170 to go. You've had 3, is that right, or more?
2 years ago, three. Michael and I had the same injections, the same amount at the same. Also 2 years ago, and a little bit other things, but also only 3 injections and working. The body is working itself.
This is it is no classical tanning injection. It's an injection just changed the chemical process in the body.
Right. Because there's been other changes also, because it's not just been the skin.
Also for me, you can see the skin is getting darker from the beginning, from the first week.
Yeah.
In the course of time, you also could see the eye color is getting darker, the eyebrow color is getting darker. My growing hair is changing the structure. It's getting curly and more dark, and everything is changing.
So there's a difference here, because that's one thing, the sort of visual aspect of how you now look, but you feel different on the inside. I mean, last time you were here, you were saying that you identify as a black woman. 80% of you identifies as a black woman, but now
it's really 100%. I'm really sure.
But this is what I'm saying.
I
so
changed
how do you identify?
From white to black, but the problem is it is hard to this. Also, I can clearly feel that I'm black, but also it's really hard to find the right words to explain people who are not involved.
That was what I was asking you earlier. That's what I meant. What was it inside you that made you say, I identify as a black woman? What brought that about? You can't describe that.
And it's really hard. Also, the first step, also, when we met in 17, also in March, when I had the blonde hairs, that was a little bit later. I was in a swimming pool in Germany with people like you, and then they're looking really pale. I think this medicine will be working for me very well. That's the first time I feel strange between the white people and I.
All right, I'm done. Okay, I'm done. I can't look at that anymore.
When I was talking about her, my point was like there are like like when I think about a transracial person, I don't think about Rachel Dolezal. I think about this woman.
Yeah.
But even what we didn't get to watch was what she said. What she said is, I feel like a Black person. I don't have the experience of Black people. I don't have the cultural experience that Black people have. So that's the way that I don't feel Black. And she acknowledges that while still saying, I still feel like a Black woman. Because at the end of the day, when they see that woman, when they see that dark-skinned woman, no matter what she started as, everybody else now, because of the creation of this fabulous thing called race, now sees this woman as a Black woman.
Hold on.
There are Black from like India, the darker people are considered Black. The people, the Aborigines who aren't African descent, they're not,
very dark.
Yeah, but they're very, very dark, and they're considered the Black people of that region. So like, it's not just having African blood or having African features. It's literally being a darker person, which is the reason why, like, when it comes to the whole light skin versus dark skin Black people, that's where it really becomes a real thing, because most people don't really care that you are Black and have Black like blood. It's more, how dark is your skin? On the other hand, I was watching this woman called Tanya TKO. She's ridiculous. But one of the things that she was saying, do you watch Tanya TKO, Icon?
Your microphone's muted, boo.
You're muted.
She did this whole thing.
Oh, she does them.
Our trans
women. She has like 9 videos about it, because
I remember that.
She's very peppy,
and she's crazy. But it is a common conception that white people, like, clearly none of the queer people that we know, but like a lot of white people have this desire to have more melanin in their skin, because they know, when you think about why are white people they must know something that we don't know. They know that, and this is a conspiracy, that they know that, we don't have the same reaction to the sun that they do. And that they're, as things get hotter and the sun exposure gets worse, we're not going to be as affected as they will be. And she was like, she goes, this white man was trying to mate with me. And I was like, you're not getting my melanin. And I was like, okay, you're crazy. But there is a certain like thought about it when you think about the way that this woman, Martina, was saying, like, I got these injections so that I could, be more tan. But also it helps me with my sun, with the way that I react to the sun. And so that's just something that was on my mind. I don't know how we got here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would appreciate that. I kind of want to keep going, y'all, but I do want to talk about Jaja's comment here. I think it also needs to be addressed how certain drag queens are misogynistic with standards such as body hair and body shape. I just talked about that. Impact femmes, both trans and cis. I also see a lot of queens saying things like how gross and disgusting vaginas are, or commenting on women in a derogatory way. That definitely is something that definitely is happening. I know for a fact, as I said before, I have definitely, when I first started out, I've definitely been guilty of even being hard on myself, because I could never wear a leotard without pads. That's always what I kind of told myself when I was first starting, and I could never wear a shaped dress without pads. And I had to get out of that. And I'm glad that I met a lot of different people that do a lot of different things to get me out of that one-track mind, because I was in that one-track mind. Now, I never went as far as saying vaginas are gross and stuff like that, but I was the whole pageant aspect of drag where you must be padded, you must have, and that's not all what drag is. And I appreciate what Jaja said about that, because it's not. I kind of know you have something to say.
I mean, the thing is that I respect the pageant standards of drag too, but that doesn't necessarily have to translate to other forms of drag. I absolutely respect and admire whatever the pageant world does, their standards and stuff, because that stuff has history. And a lot of people that influence drag today, came from the pageant system. So I will always love and respect pageant drag and respect, whatever the hell you know, the standards of continental and Miss Gay America and stuff like that. That should be left alone. But you know, there's other forms of drag now. There's other forms of like pageants now. I just think that people just need to understand that drag comes in every shape, form, and sizes, and that's what makes drag so exciting. You don't want to see the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah. I think it needs to boil down to, because you say drag, it like comes in different varieties and flavors and stuff. I think the issue is that people don't see gender in that way. They see gender as a dichotomy. They see it as two. Mm-hmm. And that's the real issue. It boils down to the cultural standards of gender norms and gender identity and gender standards. Like culturally, people think man and woman. So they think, oh, you have to be curvy, big boobs and hips and high brows to be a woman, or this, and then that boils down to drag. So wait,
but Sapphira, that's real. That's
honestly,
real.
Skinny girls can go out there with no pads and no thing, because there's lots of
skinny white girls come up there with no padding and no boobs and everything, and they get praised. And even on the JM show Drag Race, they get praised when they don't have any kind of
standard of black beauty.
I feel like that's a newer thing though, and like I could be wrong because I am still relatively new to the drag scene. Like I've always been like a gender crazy person. I like those words. I chose those. But drag has not been something that I've been like familiar with. However, I do know that like when Aquaria was on Drag Race, Aquaria didn't get, oh, you're beautiful, you're gorgeous all the time. It was maybe try hip pads sometime, like, or Adore. Wait, what's her name? Adore Delano.
I'm gonna say Aquaria got praised for.
That's why I was mixing up my A names. But yeah.
But that's the thing. Adore Delano is a Hispanic person, and in the Hispanic culture, being curvy,
she's white passing. So like, if you're, it's like you can't say. Like for me, you're saying that if you're white, you get away with it. She is white passing, and she did not get away with it. That's why I think it's a new thing.
I do remember Pearl getting. I do remember Pearl getting like that, getting flat.
That critique.
Okay.
So it's like that's why I think it's a newer thing because, and I am not like I've said it before in here. I've said it in my day-to-day life. I don't really watch Drag Race. I just know a few things here and there because I binged a lot of episodes when I first started drag because I thought I had to. And then when I realized I didn't have to, I stopped watching it. So I do know some things from, I think, season 2 to 6. I remember a lot, and then like
this is true
from
Nikki
other
Hana.
places. So
this is true. I do feel like there is a double standard though. And I'm going to have to agree with Sapphira Cristal 100%. I do think there's a double standard. I do think that queens like Aquaria that did not wear pads or boobs kind of got praised versus like somebody. Adore does look a little. Adore is white passing, but Adore is Latin, and I do feel like they always like even with the Vixen when the Vixen was on and they were telling Vixen to singe in their tiny ass weights, and I was like, what? Like so it's very much so that, and I mean very much so gets that.
Mine was going past Drag Race. I wasn't even thinking about Drag Race at the moment.
Well, yeah, but I was just talking about what the people comment.
Yeah. But yeah, like what I mean is like it is a standard when you think about even when you think about model standards. When you think about model standards, there's the small waist, and then it's sort of, and when you're a skinny model, then it's sort of like just all very, very curved like that. But when you think about plus size models, they're not so much, you don't get a whole bunch of models in the plus size category that are like the array of plus size women. You get the big breasts, try and get that waist as small as possible, and the big hips. And that's all the representative you have of a plus size person. When like there are a good number of people who are like that, but there are a way bigger number of people who are not like that. And it's like, how are you going to model this for me? And I'm supposed to buy these shorts and buy this dress on this woman who has this, and mine is like this.
Yeah, that gets, it's like culturally, that's another like cultural thing where if you're a bigger person, then you have, culture is fat phobic. Like our culture, not every culture, but American culture is fat phobic. And shapes and curves are not necessarily the ideal. And then when you're a person of color, in addition, who people of color tend to have more curves naturally. Again, genetics is, I don't know how it all works, but generally speaking, that's how it happens. So now they're getting the double wham bam. They're getting the 1-2 punch with being a person of color and not having your ideal shape. So I don't know.
That experiences this all the time. Like, that's exactly why I got into burlesque, and that's why I started. Like, I'm just like, bitch, I'm just gonna take off my clothes, because you sit there and you want to criticize something, you have something to criticize about.
And Icon, I give you a rose. Also, you wait, let me say something to Icon real quick, because you are right about that. Because a lot of your numbers, you always were so free with yourself and how you presented your body out to the crowd and stuff like that, and that inspired me to like even be more at ease with my own body. So it's like you definitely set the tone for being body positive and having body positivity. You were like one of the first people I ever noticed do that.
I really think that everybody should know and love their body is beautiful. Your body is beautiful the way it is. If you want to lose weight, if you want to get surgically enhanced, that's beautiful too. But I think the point is that we all come in all shapes and sizes, and there's somebody out there for every. Trust and believe. A lot of people, after I get off a stage, they trying to fuck, okay? And they have came up and whispered in my ear, don't get us twisted. And they go online and talk about fat people.
I don't have.
I feel the same way. I feel the same way about white folks that want black dudes or black people too. I feel the same way. They act like they don't want us online or with their gaggle of white friends, but when they're by themselves, they hit you up on the apps and stuff all the damn time.
Oh, what I hate
talked about that before.
What I hate is Black lives don't matter, but black dicks do. It's like,
so that's a great transition, Sapphira. Thank you so much for that. That's a great transition. I love that, because that's the thing. And I want to touch on that. Also, I want to talk about the performative action that we've been seeing the past couple of months, because guess what, y'all? It's not Black June anymore. And so I've noticed that a lot of people can give two shits about anything Black related now. And I predicted this. Remember, Icon, what did I say at the march? I said, let's keep that same energy, because people now don't care. If you know that you go online, just because it's not a trend or it's not the current TikTok dance, people are no longer sharing anything about any, because Black people are still dying. There's still police brutality going on, and a lot of people don't care anymore. They're not sharing anymore. Black lives don't matter. Black Girl Magic is not a trend to watch anymore. Black Diaries is not a trend to watch. Do y'all remember we had like 200 something views on all the time, and now we're only like 30 something, and like that is. And that's the thing. A lot of the white entertainers in the city would try to share it and be like, I'm going to watch the Black Diaries to learn something. Well, guess what? You can still learn something today that you learned in June, but they don't care anymore. Because
so how do you feel knowing that what you just talked about, the first 2 or 3 topics, just happened to you? Like, literally, when you were cool and it was cool to be with the Black people and stuff like that, everyone was reposted and sharing, but now it ain't cool to be Black no more. It ain't cool to be with the Black people.
Yeah.
Well, it's happening here.
It's been bothering me a lot, because I try to continue to produce great content and I try to continue to do stuff. However, I've noticed that it's been a huge decline with my following and a lot of people that were all about me in the June. They were like, I definitely want to book Vincella. I definitely want to hit up Vincella. We have to watch Black Diaries, because this is important right now. And that's the main topic. That's the main problematic sentence I hear. It's important right now. It's always important. It's always important. Being Black is always. And I noticed that a lot of people aren't watching the Black Diaries anymore. Well, because a lot of people don't like me no more. But a lot of people don't watch the Black Diaries no more. But also a lot of people don't even share it. A lot of people don't, or especially with Black Girl Magic, our Evolution show had almost like 5 to 6K on the views. Now we're only at like 1K. And like I'm blessed for everyone watching, and I thank you. But we were talking about this too. It is not a trend to be Black anymore. So now people don't care about it anymore. They're going back to their day-to-day lives, especially the white folks that really don't care. And it's been really, and to answer your question, Marcus, it's been really bothering me and bugging me for the past couple of weeks, because I've just noticed that people every time I share things or post anything, no one gives a fuck anymore. No one cares anymore. No one, like, truly, no one cares to watch the Black Diaries anymore, except for the wholehearted, like, you know, the ones that were riding with us. But a lot, it's not a trend
it's across the board. It's across the board. I think even, like, you are a part of a big picture that, like, you're being affected because on social media, even on Facebook, Instagram, all of it, you know, you couldn't get on social media without seeing a Black issue for like the past 2 or 3 or 4 months, and now it's like, so you ain't the only one. It's everywhere.
Yeah. It is definitely. It definitely is. That's just for me personally. I've seen that, but it's crazy how that is, and like it's just been something that I've been having to deal with. But I've realized that, and that just makes me. And then same with the town hall. People are took it as a joke and still going back to doing what they want to do. We've had a queen recently. They still talk about us. They still talk about me, but then they also do a show on they do a show, and they did a show and they had an all-white cast. They had an all-white cast in their show, and I'm like, I don't understand. But then like they want to come back and say, oh, like, you know, they had an apology or something like that. Where is that at? Yeah, there it is. You know, she ain't playing games today. So there was a big but there's a big apology thing where they were like, I do so much, and blah, drag mafia, blah blah. They're like, I'll have an open call for the Black entertainers. They can come out in the heat and perform for free. But
the Black amateur under 3 years entertainer.
It's so just, I don't understand it. I truly don't get it. Like, why is it that people took it?
I just wanted to say that I haven't seen any posts from that person for like, I've been doing drag for a little over 3 years. I haven't seen a post from that person for about 3 years because I already knew I didn't like her. And she's a terrible person. And I think I'm a pretty good judge of character. And like, no matter how many times you can say, I'm a good person, we all make mistakes and I'm still a good person, you are a bad person. Like, it's just that simple. We do all make mistakes, but if you continually make the same one over and over again, and when you have so much power and authority to do things and you make no changes, that shows that you're shit. That shows
if you
that
were just called out for saying the N-word, and then if you were just called out for saying the N-word, and then 2 days later you say it again, and then go, I'm sorry. You just got told about yourself. Like, literally just got told about yourself.
I can't believe that we're still having all-white drag shows or all-white shows. Like, I don't understand how that is acceptable, especially when Icon and I literally Amber led this town hall, and people are still, and then they're like, well, and then their response was, oh, I left Taboo years ago, so I have no clue who any Black entertainers are. But then you watch the Black Diaries, see if you get talked about. But then you watch the Black Diaries, see if you get talked about. Yet you don't know any Black people in the city, baby, because you know you still watch because you mention us at your thing all the time. I hope we don't get mentioned on the Black Diaries. Well, if you keep doing some bullshit, you won't get talked about.
Now,
Brittany Lynn.
I did see this comment from Ben about the 3 years entertainer.
I'm done.
I know for a fact that in different areas, amateur entertainer counts as a different thing. Like the time frame is different. Like in some parts of Texas, it's like 5 or 6 years. You're still an amateur. So that part.
No, if I'm correct, she put that, or they put that in the status that POC amateur entertainers under 3 years.
Correct.
That was in the status, right?
That was, and Honey Davenport also. Honey Davenport also asked in the comments. Honey Davenport, we love Honey. Honey was like, "Hey, do you?" The comments were wild. They were all like, "We love you. You're amazing. We love you." They were like, "Oh, we love you.
Every single one."
I remember after the town hall, somebody was like, "You know, Brittany Lynn, you are the best drag queen." That other person that was talking to you, they're just ignorant. Blah blah blah. I don't know what to say.
Stop.
But yeah, but my thing is that like it's so they want, and so then Honey said, well, hey, do you think it's okay if you give a stipend or maybe give some kind of compensation to these Black entertainers that come to your show and you know do stuff? Their answer was, I've been doing drag for years. I'm a darling. I've done everything for the drag community. I am amazing. And just because I asked them to come for free doesn't mean I'm a racist. How dare you? And I was just like, and Honey was so nice. Honey was like, love you, sis. I was just trying to ask a question. And Brittany was like, well, you know, we need to talk about how in this city don't book Black trans people over 40 or 50 or blah, blah, blah. And I was like, so again, you are going back. You're going backwards. You can't even acknowledge your own fucking problems. You're going backwards to what it is. And like, what are you talking about? Having an all-white cast and two of the white people in the show are so problematic. It's not even freaking funny. But it's like, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Somebody text me who was in the stats. I'm curious.
Because I don't know. I was hurt and very like discouraged in the very beginning of my career by Brittany Lynn. And I'm glad that I am a resilient, angry, badass bitch because I kept going despite that and just was like, whatever. And now I'm seeing it makes me feel better about my craft, but two, it also makes me feel better about my person, my identity, like my own internal strength and my ability to judge character. Because back then I was like, you are not a good person. I don't want anything to do with you. I don't care if I'm never booked at Taboo because I don't want to deal with you. And that was when she was still doing the bookings at Taboo. And I was like, I wrote it off. I was like, I'm never gonna work at Taboo because she's never gonna leave. So
can I ask y'all the question real quick? Can I ask y'all the question real quick? I want to know, is the excuse of not knowing Black entertainers a good excuse when we have more Black entertainers? When we have more Black entertainers in the city than white entertainers. So is that the excuse?
Entertainers in the city are very loud. You can't miss us. So right.
Okay. So I was booked to be in a show with her that ended up not happening because, you know, we still can't do those types of shows. And wasn't it the week before she had Lisa, Karen, and Tina Montgomery in her show?
Yep.
So just as a, you know, just to give a full respect to like that, what she's saying when she's saying what she's saying is when she's saying like, these people are people who aren't getting booked by like people of our generation. We're not booking. I mean, you're booking Tina Montgomery, but like,
actually, to be honest with you, I booked Tina, Karen, and Lisa. Lisa almost every single Black Girl Magic. So that's not actually no.
I'm not, like I said, this is just to be devil's advocate on this whole like thing because we can get a little like one-minded on the thing, and I want us to be able to always, you know, see the whole picture. And yes, she could. There's a way that she could definitely. She does know. I mean, she knows all of us. She knows me. She knows, you know, all of us. So there's no excuse for there to not have been some person of color in her show. I just want to that was one show that she did. That does not mean that like it's acceptable. I just want us to like, you know, just
you're saying it's not indicative of her character because it was one show, even though in the past
I've worked with her many times. She's booked me for many things. She's given me my own show several times, and so I don't want to just
first numbers per that was amazing.
Like it's unacceptable for what does she do to you, Paula?
Oh no, I was just gonna say she booked me for my first show ever at Taboo, but that was because I was the runner-up for Miss Taboo in 2018, and I was guaranteed a show in my package. It was successful, and I said, hey, since this was successful, can I, you know, try to do this monthly or something? And she said, absolutely, and never responded to any message.
Thank you.
Hollywood, but that's called Hollywood talk.
And so that's where I'm going. That's where I'm going is like there are things that are unacceptable, and I think that we should definitely call those things out as they are. But I don't think that we should like lump them all into like one thing. You know, they're all.
No, I don't think we're doing that. For what I'm saying is, I'm calling out what I see. I'll only talk about what I see. And what I see is that there is an all-white show. I don't care if it's her first time, second time, third time, fourth time, middle time. Oh, I don't care if she booked. I don't care if she had a Black Girl Magic show the week before. You still have an all-white cast today. And at the end of the day, it's not acceptable. And I know. Listen, I'm not. My dislike for her is out of this. This is me saying from someone that's the inside. For the problematic thing is literally she did not watch the town hall. The town hall, she clearly thought it was some joke. Because if you watch the town hall, you would have saw a fancy segment where Amber said, "Hey, do your due diligence and seek out local talent. If you're going to be someone that books shows and does something like this, you're going to have to make sure you know Black entertainers. Booking Miss Lisa, Tina, and Karen is not going to just cut it. They're not the only Black people in this industry. So you're going to have to, and that's the only really Black people that she books, other than some of us here. But other than that, she wants to use that as a crutch, and then she wants to be defensive and say, well, people don't book over 30 Black or over 40 Black entertainers. Again, totally going backwards and not even accepting your faults, but just wanting to blame other people. That's my situation. That's my issue. What you cannot do is you're not going to sit up there and book Black people one week and have an all-white show and think that that's okay. When in the town, and then your excuse is, I don't know any Black people since I left Taboo. That's not, what did we just talk about June 30th? What did we just talk about? Yeah. And I'm sorry, even if you don't like me, guess what? You can still watch Black Girl Magic or support the Black Queen. You can, if you don't like me that much, turn it off during my section, bitch. Turn it off during my section. That's totally fine. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Turn me off, mute me, go in the next room if I'm on. But support these Black entertainers that take their time to make these videos, or go to the actual live show. I've never seen Brittany Lynn once at a live Black Girl Magic show when Lisa was, when Karen was there, when Tina was there, because I've had them almost every single month. So my thing is that you can't sit up there and say, oh, well, I don't know any Black performers, when there's a huge plethora of Black performers in this area. And that's an excuse that Bev used, that Fancy used, that Aloe used, and we can't not continue to let that happen. Okay, I'm not saying Brittany Lynn's the only one. I'm talking about it because that's what I've seen right now, because she's responsible for booking shows. And that's what it is. And I have respect to Sapphira, and I'm not trying to come at you, but I just know that I'm tired of babying people. Like the whole Josh Wolf. I'm not babying Josh Wolf anymore. I'm not. Right.
And I'm not going to make sure that it was well documented that we didn't.
Correct.
And I will gladly
these things and didn't acknowledge all the other things that were being said and all the other things that are being done, because what can be done with this show is people can take a clip of it and say that this happened.
Correct. Well, that's true.
And not that
but they're going to do that. They're going to do that anyway. Yeah. They're going to do that anyway because people don't watch the show.
But the thing is, don't watch the show. The entire clip where we do acknowledge these things have been done, and they are, it's still significant that she did those things, and it's very significant that she didn't, book anyone Black, and then instead of saying, okay, this happened this time, but I will be doing better in the future, she could have just said that instead of saying, I don't know any Black people, which is where the mistake was made.
Yeah, that's where the mistake. And that's pretty much what I was saying. It's not that, it's more so, yes, she did an all-white show. Yes, okay. Now your apology is in your recovery. And if your recovery is you saying, sorry, I left Taboo 2-3 years ago, I don't know any Black people, that is so problematic to me. Why do you not know Black people?
So are you only around white people the whole time?
That's what I'm saying.
I think so. For me personally,
I don't think she's really around that.
Hold on.
I mean, not being real.
I'm fine. I'm someone that Brittany Lynn has helped a lot when I first,
same,
and I appreciate everything that she's done. But I think that it's about the present. It's about what's happening now, and it's about we have made a document and we have had a town hall for a reason. That means we hold everyone accountable, and that's not reflective of what has somebody done in the past. Because people have said that Brittany Lynn hires people, trans performers over 40 and everything, which is great because, to be quite honest, I would love to book, Tina, Karen, and Lisa, but guess what? The bars and clubs weren't giving me the budget to give me the pay that they deserve.
Exactly.
So how can I book them?
Or what I'm offering, and then it's like, oh, I can't do it for that amount, and I'm like, that's all I got, so I'm sorry. Like,
and then also you want to say, oh well, if you are Black, you can come do an open call. Again, this is not Dragorama or whatever. It's so insulting. It's hot outside, and you're gonna make people go outside and you're gonna make people travel. I can see one thing. It's the middle of COVID. I can see one thing about digital. Okay, if you ask someone to do something for free digitally, that's one thing. You're at home. Okay, you can make a video at home. You can do whatever. But to make them Uber there, or however they get there, they travel all the way there. They have to perform in that hot ass thing. They're also risking their safety, and they're also doing all that for free. They get no kind of and they're just proving to you that's worth the booking. When guess what, Mama, we're already worth the booking. Just book us. Just book us. And if you would spend more time
on digital, so all you gotta do is turn on Facebook and look at a performance and say, "Oh, that's entertaining."
Like you might be blocked. She might have blocked me on my Vincent page, but Vincel's still open his view, so you can definitely watch all the videos. Because I know you watch Black Diaries. I know you're watching. They're gonna talk shit on Monday. So the thing is that at the end of the day, it's like, but that's real though. But at the end of the day, it's like, what are you going to do? And I want to say this, Brittany Lynn has booked me before too. However, I'm with Icon. We're talking about currently. The town hall was not a basketball wives reunion. The town hall was not a Nene Leakes and Phaedra Parks read down. This was a legit, real topic. And hardly anyone that was called in seriously, because they went right back to doing what they did. They all went right back to posting statuses, doing crazy shit. And I'm like, I don't understand how all that labor and hard work that we did, all of us here, because all of us, even, I know that Paula and Diva were not there, but I know they were still supporting and they were with us. But all of us, Sapphira, Marcus, and Icon, we were on video on that thing. So we a lot of effort. And I know Marcus was like, because Marcus was a little nervous to go on. And I know that was nerve-wracking. We had 700 viewers consistently the whole time. It was a very thing. But it wasn't those 700 viewers. I guarantee you about 6 of them were watching it with popcorn, thinking that this was like a Real Housewives of Potomac, Monique versus Candace thing. For me, it's like this was a real deal. And if you're gonna sit up there and take it and then be like, oh child, they crazy. Let me go back and do what I was doing. That's not what the tea is.
Now there is one. I was just gonna say this is a slightly a branch off, but it's along the lines of, because someone was like, you only book people that you know or that she knows in the thing, and for me, that is a huge red flag. I've never liked that. You can book people that you know if you're also trying to branch out and gain let me backtrack. That's the whole point of the show that I created, Paula's Drag Kitchen. I want to book people who I don't know. I want to book people who are not seen, who value the art and want to grow and learn. Now,
and that's what it's about.
Yeah, if you're just about, oh, these people will draw an audience, then that's a whole different section. And I don't even see that for what she was doing. It's really just nepotism.
Yeah, because the people that
I'm only booking family. I'm only booking people I know. And I'm like, well, why is that the case?
I have a question, and it could just be me, because me personally, I'm not a drag queen, but however, I do perform, and when I put on my outfit to get on stage, I'm putting on my drag. So I have a say in this. So I want to know, why do we I feel like, what do we want from Brittany Lynn or any of these? I mean, we can just do our own stuff like we're doing, and that be that.
Well, no, definitely.
We can have the great shows. We can have the.
Some of us been doing our own thing.
Yeah,
there was power structures in the neighborhood, and there were people that hold very high positions in clubs and stuff,
like yourself and Diva.
And Vinchelle.
So I don't know whole
neighborhood now.
I'm saying, we can now. You know what?
You're a boss, so I don't hear nothing.
I'm saying that for the longest, it took a town hall for that to happen.
Yeah, bro, that's real.
Well, I missed something.
Also,
like I couldn't hear.
Well, I will say I was trying before the town hall because we tried to be the first black-owned bar in January.
Well, so, not you. Not
everybody knows Sapphira runs Philadelphia.
I was pushing for it.
Jaja, you're right about
this. That would have been 1/3 to give her.
What did she say?
Exactly. It would have been 1/3.
Jaja said that they didn't add anybody to the Drag Mafia since 2013. Yet Aura, Stephanie, Dominique, and Miss Red all got added the last 2 years.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So again, y'all, like if you're, I understand that. Listen, I understand everything that she has done for the community, but if you're gonna be, you have to state factual statements. And that status, she did say that she has not added anyone since 2013. Yet all queens did get added within the past 2 years. That is true.
Who are those people?
White drag queens. One of them you don't talk to anymore. One of them you had to have a meeting at Eric Jaffe's house. And for Miss Everything, you know them. So I mean that's the thing.
Oh, I know that one.
Yeah. So these are all white queens. So they've been added to the list.
I would like to clarify. This is no digs or dings on any of the people who are performing. This is all on Brittany. It's not the performers. You all are like, take your opportunities when you get them.
Take your opportunities.
You know what I found so interesting with y'all?
What's up? What's interesting?
When I open my mouth with some shit. But no, like when after the town hall, the best conversations I had, or the best like thoughts that I heard was from the actual white listeners and white viewers and how they received the town hall. I don't know if you had if anybody talked to you about how they took it, because the consensus was almost as if it was like a witch hunt. It was like, okay, y'all out here to get it's like is that anybody?
Goodness, yeah. Oh, they came for me hard, honey. I mean, Icon and I both got unfriended by several people. I've been blocked by half the damn white performance community.
Are you serious?
I've lost good friends.
Actually, I didn't get
Wow, guys. Wow.
Yeah, and but Marcus, I'm sorry, I'm coming back to you, Icon. But Marcus, I remember we had a phone conversation afterwards, the town hall, and what you said, I still to this day think about. You were like, these white people are like, that N-word is trying to run stuff. And remember that? And I was like, that was.
And you best believe they're still sitting in the background saying that about.
But that Marcus, I still think about our conversation and what we talked about that night, because I was like, that is so true. But Icon, go ahead.
Rewind. Okay.
Wow.
Can you repeat that?
Huh?
Who said what N-word?
No one said that.
No one said that.
No one said that.
She said, y'all real confident shit.
What is that? Who the fuck is that? Where we rolling up?
Who said that?
Who said that? Who has said that? No, but that is so real though.
Oh my god!
You about to get a tire iron, honey.
Okay.
Icon was ready.
I was like, how are we not hear about this?
I've gotten called aggressive. I've gotten called that I gotten called the Black Diaries mean girls. I gotten called that we went too hard at them. And I'm like, and like Icon said, we could have came harder. This racist bullshit that we've had to deal with, and we haven't beat y'all's ass. So we're coming to y'all directly in a professional way. We're not beating anybody's ass. We're literally coming to you in a professional way. And that's being aggressive and angry?
We are in Philadelphia where people just get their ass beaten all the time. It's a common.
And a lot of these people lucky that they haven't gotten theirs beat.
Oh my gosh. Or press charges. We're not all fighting. I'm pressing charges.
I thought you were lucky to keep up.
I'm a hit and still pressure.
Are you fighting for a place? Are you fighting for a place at the table, or are you fighting to build your own table?
I played the game to change the game. I have my own table now, and y'all are all at it.
As long as
we're all at our own table.
Your own table. Do not.
First of all, I'm not to be very clear. I don't want to be booked for that show with Brittany Lynn. I want Brittany Lynn to book other people, and I want other white entertainers like Bev and stuff to people like Sapphira and Paula and Sardonic for comedy shows and stuff like that. I'm not necessarily.
Sardonic's already said that.
I'm not necessarily saying that I want to be a part of their culture or their shows. I'm saying that I would hope, and that's the other main thing. It's like I was too much a part of it, so I want my other people to be a part of it as well. But however, I'm doing my own thing. As you know what I mean? Icon, go ahead. What were you going to say?
You got your own platform. Everybody here got their own platform, and it's like y'all got your shit.
We do. Like I've had so many different things going on in the city because the neighborhood did not have a place for us.
Right. That's
all
true.
We want at the end of the day is inclusivity. All we want at the end of the day is for everyone to have an opportunity. Exactly. All we want at the end of the day is like for every performer, especially every Black performer, every trans performer, to have an opportunity to go to place to perform and get booked in many different kinds of shows. All we want is for other younger Black performers to have that opportunity. Because I want to hear that opportunity. It's other people's turn. Peaches is so fucking talented. Peaches and Sir Donna should have had their own damn show.
Right.
Yeah. I want to add to this. Like, you don't gotta book me and shit. If I never get booked, I don't care. I love drag, but I can do it without you all. Like, not you all, but I could do it without being booked at every single thing, you know?
I mean, yeah, and it's very nice to be booked and everything. However, it's always good to do your own things. And that's kind of where I was at, because I noticed that I was the only Black person in the damn cast at all times. And I noticed that a lot of people like Sapphira and Paula and other people will come up to me and be like, well, I feel like I've been chosen the show, then I won't be able to be in it. And I hated when people told me that. So what I said was, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the game to change the game. I'm going to be in the show, but then I'm going to also learn from that and then do my own thing and have a Black Girl Magic show and then also have other shows for other Black people, and then I'm hoping I was hoping that doing Black Girl Magic, that then the Black queens there can expand, and then they have more visibility to the Black entertainers. But then there's still so many people, not just Brittany Lynn, a lot of different white entertainers that are like, well, I don't know any Black entertainers. And I'm like, does Black Girl Magic not have 15 to 20 Black people in the damn show, live or digitally, and you still don't know? I don't care if you do. I don't care if you don't like me. It's fine. Fast forward through my first boo, but look at all these other amazing entertainers. How do you not know them? When I'm sitting up here doing all this work, bringing all these people together, and you still don't know it? Like how when other people, how somebody said who should be on Drag Race and stuff like that, and they only were saying mine, when I'm like, honey, there are so many other Black queens. Why am I the only Black queen being mentioned? And then they say, oh, well, I'm sorry, I just don't know any.
But let me explain something to you. Let me explain something to you, because this is how the music industry works, and you wonder why only you get a Beyonce or somebody that's sitting at the top of the game. It's whoever's making the most noise. Everybody out here works. But my thing is, when you out there doing shows, you on so much stuff in shows. So it's like people would look to you as that. Like you get what I'm saying? It's how you put yourself out there.
I told you that yesterday.
It's like how you put yourself out there. If you put yourself out there to be this big thing, that's how people perceive you. What you all got to understand is that this is all an illusion at the end of the day. How you put yourself out there is how people going to see you. It's
I'm a little.
Hold on.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Sapphira was trying to talk to you. Go ahead, Sapphira.
Shit. Go ahead, Paula, because I forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I was just saying I'm the antithesis of this. I am riddled with self-doubt and anxiety. And the only time that the confidence happens is when I am in front of people. So I think that I'm more on the Vinchell camp where people saw me and then reached out to me. Whereas I wasn't necessarily saying, book me, please book me, or I'm good. You saw that. It was more like I was on stage and people reached out to me and I accepted every offer.
Well, we also Black people have a heart, and we also said like a lot of Black people don't want to beg for bookings. It looks like we're begging.
Yeah, I never reached out, and like I felt, that's not true. I take that back. At a certain point, I stopped reaching out. I was like, in the very beginning, I did ask, but it was always like, can I perform? Like Isis, the goddess Isis at Sinful Sundays. I was so nervous. I went to that show for a year in drag and sat in the audience and tipped people, but I was so afraid to ask to be in it, even though I saw people walk up to Isis and say, can I do this? And like I was like, oh, they know each other. I can't do that. And then one day Isis saw me in the audience and was like, "You want to perform?" And I was like,
I love Isis.
I personally love
Isis
Simple
so
Sundays.
much.
Yeah, Simple Sundays was funny.
And Simple Sundays opened up the floor for so many people. And shout out to Isis, because I remember anytime Isis loves a black performer. I would tell you that right now. And anytime that you would come to the show and drag, Isis would just be so nice and let you. That just I love Isis for that. And I know Isis has opened up the door. And like Simple Sundays was a lot of people's first performances, and I think that's just beautiful. Go ahead, Sapphira. Sorry.
I think that like you said, it's great to make your own way, and that's good for us. We are established professionals. That has nothing to do with the young kids coming up who the only time that they're ever able to get in front of an audience is when they're performing for free. And I'm sorry, there is something different from when you are performing in a competition than when you are actually booked to do a performance somewhere. There's a different energy that goes into it. There's a different amount of preparation that goes into it. It's all different. And so the reason why we did this is not because, everyone's producers. I might be producing sometime soon, but I travel a lot, and it's like a lot for me to travel as much.
Well, you're all going to start when we get back to Voyeur with your show. So
yeah,
I have something to say about that.
But my point is that like for me, performing is like the most invigorating thing for me. For some people, like, they want to, present something, and I wanted to do a show so that I can help, promote other queens, younger queens, other people that I see, and I see that, okay, you booked
me. You booked me for your show. I remember that.
Yeah, I book people when I have shows. But the whole point of it is like, you can't just go at it for yourself. So like, yeah, I could go up there and do my own show, but with that whole thing of when black people are just booking more black people, and it looks the same way, where it looks like, oh, where there's nepotism there, they know each other, blah, blah, blah. I don't know half these people.
Can I say something?
But if you have like white people, who for some reason were booking more of the shows than anyone, when there's more black people in the city than white people, but for some reason there were way more white people in positions of power. When you have them only booking people who look like them, even if it's not even the fact that they're white, but they're light skinned, they're all light skinned. It's all these light skinned people. Then you don't think, oh, I can do this. There's a young drag queen coming up there, and they only see white people or light people in the show. There's no inspiration for you to go, hey, can I do that show? Hey, do you think something that you think that I would be good for? And then someone looks at you, and in the way that they impart their knowledge on another white queen, because they think that they could do the same thing to a black queen. They could tell them, hey, if you do this, this, and this, I could probably see you being in my show. But no, they go, oh, well, I mean, I'm not a black queen. I don't know what to. And this is not about Brittany Lynn. This is about like people who decide that because they don't look the same as another person, they can't identify with that person. They can't help that person in some way, shape, or form. We're talking about nepotism. When we're talking about like, as much as I love Fancy Dismount, that's like the queen of nepotism, when like only her children are in all of her shows. It's like, and she ain't got no black kids. So that it's kind of like obvious that that's not going to happen. But and the fact that would be a question, that she would ask the question of whether or not blackface and drag are of the same caliber, just makes me think, bitch, what are you sitting around smoking? What are you thinking about in your daily life?
God.
That's just like blackface. And it's like, no, bitch, blackface was never accepted by black people. Drag and drag and blackface are completely different things. Actually, blackface was meant to offend people. Like it was not meant to make black people feel comfortable about themselves. And drag has not always been a thing that makes fun of women. Some people are funny drag queens. Some people aren't funny drag queens. Some people are serious fucking drag queens. So like you can't conflate those things. They're not on the same fucking level. And Sorry,
I love that word.
You know what?
That's real.
And you know that's real, Sapphira. And this one goes back to our Karen conversation that we had a couple weeks ago about how some white people also want to feel included and want to feel oppressed, and they want to do that. So I do think that status was like more so like they wanted to kind of fit in and they wanted to feel discriminated against and stuff. But at the end of the day,
she's not a cis woman.
I know.
She didn't say anything about being fat. She didn't say anything about like if someone put on a fat suit and like or was padding. If she said something about like this is padding like a way of appropriating people who have a different body type, then that would be a conversation that you can actually be a part of. But when it comes to like this conversation about two people that you have nothing to do with, like, I mean, I guess you're a drag queen, but other than the fact that you're a drag queen, I didn't mean it like that. I meant like, she's a drag queen. She's not a black person. She's not a woman. She's not a cis woman, and she doesn't identify as a woman in general. So like in those two things, it's like, why are you bringing up these two conversations? It sounds like you just want to make these two people mad at each other the same way that the people at the top were always saying, oh, well, you're black and you're white, so why aren't y'all fighting with each other instead of looking at me? It sounds the same fucking way to me.
Yeah.
I agree.
I
think it was very problematic. Icon, you sleep?
No.
We thought you were looking at the phone.
Yeah, like I said, I'm done with this bitch. She's so.
That would be so funny. That would be epic. It'll be like the girl that fell asleep, the drag queen. Like
oh my god, live, yeah, that was amazing. There was so much money and views. They had like at one point like 2.5K views. I was like, you fucking bitch! It's all I gotta do is go to sleep. Damn. But
I've been trying too hard.
No, but I got a question for you.
Okay.
I want to know. You said to Sapphira that coming soon, you know, when everything gets back open and stuff like that, we're going to start doing more physical shows and stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. So I wanted to know, like, what changes? This is a quick question too, like not a long answer or whatever. What changes do you see coming to like physical performance when things open back up? As far as like setup, and how do you feel like it would be the atmosphere of shows tipping?
That's a great question. I think that's a great question. You mean as far as like COVID?
Yeah, like with the whole all of that. Like, you think is it going to be the same? How is it going to be? Are you going to? What do you think?
Well, this is a great question for all of us. Actually, I do want to say that I'm in the process of starting to do I'm going to be doing outdoor shows within the next couple months. I'm in the process of working with a couple of companies and doing a brunch and working with Live Nation as well, doing some stuff. So I'm in the process of doing outdoor shows. Stay tuned, everybody. I'm gonna be booking everybody if y'all feel comfortable. But obviously for me, I'm gonna be far away from it. I'm not going in the audience, and it will be Venmo based only. I'm not grabbing money from anybody.
No grabbing money from the right.
I'm not grabbing money from people until there's a vaccine. Go ahead, Sapphira.
I was just thinking. Do you remember those long poles with the ushers who like
with the baskets?
We need to have usher baskets, like buckets, because those are small. But we should have buckets, and then the ushers should all have masks on and gloves, and they just pass. You know,
that's a good idea.
I think that'd be cool and cute, and you can still get your cash because. Right. And I think that Venmo is great, but I think that some people,
but not everybody has it.
And people want to waste their money. They want to feel
it's included. A part of the experience.
It's a part of the experience. And if you can't come out there should be some way or shape or form. Girl, if you have one of those, let me hold up. Talk for a second.
I already have a setup. So nobody's taking my idea.
Hold on. Right,
I want to know what Diva.
I said we'll say it after the live in the back.
We'll say it
after the show. No one's taking my idea because it's starting in a couple weeks.
Got you.
Icon. What'd you have to say?
Look at Sapphira.
I know. I love it.
I love them. We use them for hotbeds.
Yes.
So as far as like me with Bird events, there's going to be a few things as far as like, you know, culturally. I'm doing a database of performers, and everyone is going to be categorized by what they can do as far as comedy, goth, drag, I mean, anything, burlesque,
booking agency,
whatever. So there's no excuse for anyone to say that they can't find a black comedian or a black fucking club kid or a Hispanic person that can do Madonna.
Who are you talking about? No.
Also,
you will be my lucky star. Sorry.
I know. Also, every single performer that performs other bird events will have to sign a code of conduct, which includes you completing a gender, race, and disability competency course ran by myself, Hazel Edwards, and Samantha Satan. Also, tipping culture will be, more enhanced. It will always be Venmo, Cash App, and PayPal information at the front of each, at the front of the door before you go into a show.
Venmo, and then you can
somebody can tip someone at the last minute, just in case the queen has to go, and you saw.
Oh, I'm drunk,
like
y'all.
that.
I just
Nice.
wanted to let you all know that I think that's a great idea.
Can we talk about what we do about backstage culture and how people treat each other backstage? Because I see some shit.
That's included. Like,
wait, what do you see backstage?
We don't want to make you feel uncomfortable.
Stealing, bigotry, misogyny, all of it.
See, this is why I don't stay backstage with the people.
That's just like.
Yeah, no, Marcus. Yeah, I know that we've definitely talked about this on the Black Diaries before, but definitely, I'm hoping that when we get back, that that people will change. Now the question is, hey Vinchell, do you think after the town hall, do you think that people will change? Answer is no, sadly, and I'm hoping that they will. But so far, I've seen the same thing, the same.
I've seen a few. I've definitely seen a few.
If Icon,
I've seen a few. I've seen a few.
Yeah,
seen a few.
Yes,
but not. I've seen a few. I've seen a few, but it ain't nothing new, honey. Okay, that's all. Like that's what I have to say about that. Like, but for the majority of Philadelphia, I'm gonna wait and see. I'm gonna be quiet and I'm gonna wait and see. But I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I'm gonna wait and see. But I'm gonna go ahead and do, because we're about to be done. For the last 15 minutes, y'all, I do like what I want to do now is I'm starting to try to end the Black Diaries in a more positive note. So I want to go around and I want everyone to briefly talk about, because we don't have that much time left, but it's not like we're on a time limit, but Mama only wants to do a 2-hour show, and we love everyone for watching. We love everyone for watching. But I want to. Okay, same. I have my thing packed and I'm ready to smoke. But before we do that, I want to say this. So I'll ask you all a good question. I want everyone to answer this. It's just like what we did, Paula and Diva, the other day about family, but I now want to talk about performance. So I would like to know who and what inspired you to start performing, especially being a Black performer. I would love to know who and what inspired you, just to end on a nice little note so people can get to know more about us before we leave. I love doing stuff like this. I love when we did this with the family thing. That warmed my heart. So I want to keep ending the show like this. So I want to go ahead and start off by saying that I have been doing theater pretty much my whole life. And I've always been infatuated with music and dancing and all that kind of stuff. My mom was a huge, in my family, we were really big in like with music. Shaka Khan, Mary J. Blige, all kind of stuff like that was constantly playing in my house as we talked about, Sapphira. And I was also everyone's so musically inclined in my family, and we're also theatric. So I've been doing theater for a long time. And then I saw other I would see Black people on TV, and I would see, I know this person's problematic, but I remember watching RuPaul on the Brady Bunch, and I was just like, oh my God, I was just so, that I will never, no one can ever take that experience away from me when I saw RuPaul for the first time on the Brady Bunch movie. I was just like, wow. I was so infatuated with that. And I was like, they're Black too. I was like, oh my God. And because that was my introduction to RuPaul. But then also I would see people like Beyonce and Destiny's Child and stuff like that. And they really, really inspired me a lot. And of course, anybody with theater like Patina Miller from the Broadway world really stuck to my heart. Brian Stokes Mitchell, I'm obsessed with. I love him. I always was compared to him when I was in college, so I'm obsessed with Brian Stokes Mitchell. Norm Lewis is another one from the Broadway world. So I was very influenced by a lot of Black male actors growing up, but then I also was inspired to do drag by people like Erykah Badu and Beyonce and and other people like NDRE and stuff like that, and Shaka Khan and Mary, because that's what was in my household. So, all right, Paula, now how about you? What made you get into performance and who inspired you?
Hi, my name is Paula Deen-White.
You know what?
My earliest memories, I've always been, I don't know if people have this in their families. I feel like it's a trope in like movies, but it's always that one kid that's like, come watch me do a show. And then they stand there and scream for like 5 minutes and you're like, thank you. I did that. I was that kid. I was like super outgoing from like toddler to like 8. And then I got real shy because I realized I was an introvert and I didn't like people. I know it was early, but you know, I learned. But I still loved performing. So it was one of those things where I had to find the balance of being able to be in front of people and be energetic and entertaining, but also like I didn't want to be around people. And I think that's something else that people should know. Introverts don't have to necessarily be people that don't talk or aren't energetic or aren't like I could throw a party. I could be around a whole bunch of people. I just don't necessarily like it a whole bunch. I'd rather be in front of them. So growing up, I was always the performer. I got involved in choir. I was in choruses. I was a singer. And then I got involved in acting in high school. And it was like, oh, this is wonderful. I'm going to be a famous film actor. I want to be in movies. They're going to know my name. It's alliterated like Tina Turner. It's Timothy Toller. And I'm going to be famous. That was my thought process. So I went to college. In college, I saw my first.
What did you study in college?
Well, it started out, I didn't finish this way, but I started out as pre-med with biology and Spanish double major, and then a double minor in theater and communication studies. But it switched.
You didn't sleep.
But I switched it. Sophomore year, I realized that was too much, and I didn't want to be a I didn't want to do
after 1 year later.
1 year later, and I still maintained a 3.8 GPA at that time. But sophomore year, I switched it to a major of psychology and then a triple minor in women and gender studies, or theater and communication studies. So I veered off the path, but it was because I thought I wanted to be a performer. So I saw my first drag show also sophomore year, which is when I picked up the women and gender studies minor. It was like an annual drag show came to my university, and I was a part of the club that funded it. And it blew my mind. I didn't know I've seen RuPaul before. I'd seen drag, but I didn't know what it was. Like, I didn't know RuPaul was a drag performer. I thought that was just a really tall woman. I was that person, the naivety, right? So I saw this first drag show in college, and I was like, wow, I'm not getting booked for these plays. Like I'm doing the auditions, and they're telling me I'm doing great, but I'm not getting casted in them. So what's the issue? A lot of it is that colorblind casting is a lie sometimes, and they see a role for. Anyway, so
that's a whole other lie.
It's a different topic.
You know what?
So
we'll talk, Paula, when you're back on here, I would love to talk about theater, like Black theater, because I had lots of theater I have a huge theater background. I thought I was only going to do theater, but now I'm doing drag. And my dad to this day still is like, what the fuck? He's like, I could never imagine you, because he just knew me as like someone that always wanted to do theater. So he's always like, every time I tell him, I don't want to do theater anymore, he's like, what? He's so stunned by that. But anyway,
I went to so not going into the details, but I realized that theater was real problematic, and drag was a way for me to scratch that itch of performance and not be like bound up by the constructs of theater. And like I did Othello, I did like different Shakespeare stuff, I did musicals. Like, I love theater, but I had to find something that allowed me to be authentically who I wanted my persona to be. And that was Priscilla Black, oddly enough. And now I'm Paula Deen-White. So yeah, there we go. That's the story.
I love, and I'm sorry we have to keep it brief. Just kind of keep it a little brief.
I'm sorry.
But I do love hearing it. So Marcus, what about you? What made you get into performing?
Yeah, I got into performance like as far as back as I can remember. I would always perform for my friends when I was younger. I would like perform in front of my house. All the kids in the neighborhood, we would do shows and do little things. Now, everyone knows, like I said, I'm not a drag queen, but the thing is that I do appreciate and have always appreciated the art of drag to the point where my grandfather used to hide Tu Wong Fu from me because I'm always watching it and could know every single word by heart as a child. So I knew there was something there. However, my inspiration came from Michael Jackson. I know, like I was a kid, I would always tape all his music videos and his shows, and I would literally run to the TV whenever Michael Jackson was up there. That for me, like, laid the groundwork of what I wanted to be as a artist or performer. Was like, I love big, grand. I want my own wind machine, like lights, all that kind of stuff. Like, all that means the world to me. So even like Beyonce today and all these artists who do big things, like, I love big artists, era artists that do big storylines. Like I got Chromatica right now. Like, I love that. I love artists like that. So for me, my inspiration was Michael Jackson. I'm inspired by Tina Turner, Shaka Khan, Barbra Streisand. Oh my God, so many people. It's ridiculous. But production period inspires me. Just watching y'all perform and do stuff. Oh, Sapphira.
I love that, Marcus. I love that. Sapphira, what about you, baby?
Oh, I'm next. Okay. Well, I have always been very what's the word? It's not outgoing. I am very outgoing. And just the love of my family. I'm like the first grandchild from my grandmother. So like I'm
this claw. Sorry, I'm like, I can't.
Get your money, honey.
Oh my gosh.
No, so like and I've always, but when I was like, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5, my parents took me to go see La Boheme. The Ebony Opera Guild did La Boheme at like the outdoor theater.
And sorry to cut you off. If y'all didn't know, Sapphira is really big opera, and they're a really amazing opera singer. Keep going.
Thank you. I'm from Houston, Texas, and out in Houston, Texas, we have an Ebony Opera Guild. Yes, Beyonce went to my high school and my church.
I didn't know I went there. All right, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, we grew up together. No, I'm significantly younger than Beyonce. No, growing up, when I was very young, my parents took me to go see La Boheme, and I was glued to the chair, like my eyes like this, and I just was like, what is happening? And I've always like had, opera in my head, and just like when I was young, when Tu Wong Fu came out, we rented it, we got it, I watched it every day that I could before it went back.
Amen.
And I didn't know that I was like into the drag thing. I just like that grandiose, especially the first scene was just everything to me. And I then flash forward to like high school, and I did drag for the first time because I am a big fan of opera singing, black, like beautiful black opera singers. Most namely, Leontine Price and Jesse Norman are my absolute favorite opera singers, and they not only are they just amazing singers and their voices are just pure gold, but also they're so gorgeous. They are statuesque women, and so to be that grand for me was the desire. And so for high school, I tried to be Leontine Price for Halloween, and no one knew who Leontine Price was at my high school other than, all the people in the music department, because I went to a performing arts high school. So then everyone was like, you look like Whitney Houston. So I was like, I guess I'm Whitney Houston. And then later on, people were like, you look like Alfre Woodard. So I was like, I guess I'm Alfre Woodard. So it all through the day. It was like through the day, I was 3 people. Because I like later on I put on like a button-up shirt, and they were like, "You look like Alfre Woodard." So then when I got to high school, I did Leontine Price again the next year, But everyone knew, because once I got to college, because I went to the Eastman School of Music for composition and voice, and I walked into my my voice lesson that day. It was Halloween day, and I was like, "Hi, Karen, how you doing?" And she was like, "Leontine, is that you?" It was a really wonderful time. But what inspired me to actually like do drag as a profession was all of my. I was in a fraternity sorority called the Mu Phi Epsilon, and one of my fraternity brothers was like a really popular drag queen in Rochester, and we would go and see them, and they would just like turn it out. So, but they were a cunt, so I didn't really like them. And I was just like, I don't really know about that. But when we went to go see one of their shows, this other drag queen came out. She was a trans woman drag queen, and she was thick and juicy and beautiful, and her name was Delicious. And when she walked out on the stage,
from Flavor of Love, or no?
Okay. Her name was Delicious. Her name was Delicious, and she did Diva by Beyonce. And she came out with these glasses on and her hair. And I just remember looking up and being like, I want to do this. This is what I want to do. And like, ever since then, like I've been like, I like reached out to her, asked her to be my drag mom. She decided to be my drag mom. That was great. But like, what inspires me to do drag is like the grand of opera, the grand, like that operatic grandness makes me so happy. And one day you guys are going to see, we go be on the stage and you're going to be like, where the fuck are we? This is so big. Like the reason I love doing Miss America, shameless plug, is because it is a huge.
Because you're the current what?
Current reigning Miss America Heaney. Also, feel free to go to the Miss America website. That show that we did earlier in the month or last month is still up. It's going to be up until the end of the month, and all the money that we've raised all month long is going to go to the special fund, which is called the Council for Relationships. Nope, that's not what it's called. But it's going to go to queer COVID relief. So that's
I love that.
Queer COVID.
Well, I absolutely. What happened?
I didn't know we had queer COVID relief.
Yes. Oh yeah, I love that. I love that so much, Sapphira, and I think that that's amazing and funny. To this day, remember, both you and Diva, but to this day, Sapphira, you know that one of my favorite Beyonce numbers that you do is Diva. So that's funny that you said that, because I literally make her every time. I'd be like,
I thought it was Rocket.
Please do this song. It's Rocket, but remember, I would make you do Diva all the time. Remember, like back at the old days, I'd be like, please do Diva, please. I would like force her to do Diva. But she would be like, oh, play the track. And I'd be like, yeah. I'd be like a little kid. She's doing Diva. I would love it. All right. Okay, just to keep it going, Icon, what inspired the lovely Icon to get into the gig, honey?
So I've always been inspired by all different types of culture, like from punk to like R&B to like Afrocentricism. My background is spoken word and African dance, and I got started doing community theater in North Philly at this organization called Art Sanctuary, North Stars, when I was 13 years old.
Have you ever heard of the Freedom Theater before?
Yes. So we actually did do things with Freedom Theater, but we were more of a nonprofit. But we would have different classes, from spoken word to creative writing to hip hop dance to African dance and drumming. So I got to learn a lot about like myself and my culture, especially with West African culture and Yoruba culture. I got into that, and that really inspired me to start performing, because before that I was shy, I was quiet. You had to force me to talk, and you could not put me on stage at all. Oh my God. No, hell no. I was like,
I love hearing when people have grown into it. I love when people grow into it.
Yes, it's beautiful. So, when that ended and I went away for college and I came back, I got more into makeup, and I got more into like the punk scene. And I will always play around with like makeup and gender, and I would dress up. I also got involved with a lot of the hip hop scene and the Afrocentric scene, which made me get more into music and I started doing these random, wild ass songs.
You used to rap?
I know, I used to rap.
That's my shit.
That's where I started. And I would perform in basement parties in East Falls every third Friday at this place called the Red House. Rest in peace. That was wonderful. And I honestly, when I worked at Starbucks, this is when I got in drag. When I worked at Starbucks, I met Mika, which all of you know. I don't know if y'all know Mika. He told me about a fundraiser going on at Taboo called Blitz, which was a monthly fundraiser where all the proceeds go to a trans person getting their top or bottom surgery done. And I performed a song there, and I remember Alize painted my face because I was like, I need help. And actually, that's the night I met Melly Von Cruz, when that was the time where she wasn't doing drag, and she was telling me some pointers too. But when I did that, oh my gosh, I just felt so motherfucking alive.
Also, Melanie was one of the reasons why we talked about digital blackface, only because they made a great stat. I don't know if y'all saw, but they made a lovely stat. She made a lovely status about it, saying how good it was and stuff. And I remember reading that as well as the magazine and stuff. So yeah, definitely. I love that icon.
But like, as far as hosting, before that, I did my first hosting gig at Kung Fu Necktie at a fucking hip hop DJ show, which is so fucking wild. Like, I was the only queer, one of the only queer people there. It was a DJ Aura show called That's It, and based on that old viral song That's It. But drag, I got my first drag performance and gig when I did Drag Wars, and I was still doing the gender fluid, gender fuck thing the first week, and I did not get any love. I did not get.
Well, that's that's another conversation, definitely. And I want to.
So much shame.
I'll end another Black Diaries also with how I want to talk about our very first drag performance at one point at one of the end of one. But I definitely love that all that stuff inspired you. And I think I can definitely say all of us on this screen are so happy that you are not scared of the stage and you are performing icon, because you are literally an icon. Yeah. And we absolutely love you so much. So I love that. But yeah, I want to talk about our first time. We'll be talking about that. Save that story, because I want to definitely talk about our very, very first. Yeah, I'll talk about, because I have a good story from when I first performed too. So I'm gonna talk about that. But now I want to go ahead and last but not least, I want to talk to Diva. Diva, what inspired you, or who inspired you to get into the gig?
Well, mine started kind of young because of my mother. She was, I guess, opportunist. She wanted her children could pay for the rest of her life. That's kind of how she was. So as a baby, I was taking pictures for Gerber. Not to be on, it was like one of those competitions. Oh, see if your baby gets on Gerber. Oh, she's taking a picture of me. Back in the day, we all know that the casting companies used to actually travel around to all the big cities. So I have auditioned as a child, but not by choice, for Family Matters, for Sandlot, and for Full House.
Oh, I wish my mom did that to me. I'm sorry. I was such a theater. I was such I need to be on TV. So I was like,
I really didn't want to. I enjoyed it, but I really didn't want to. Yeah. I think the one thing that made me pull away from the stage was the Sandlot, because the rest of them, they were like, be yourself and say these words. Sandlot, they were like, hold this baseball, hold this bat, and hold this mitt, and say this. And I was like,
this is too much.
What? But after that, I did miss being on the stage. I wanted to try again. So at church, I started being on the praise team. They couldn't understand why the boys had to wear just pants and shirt, and the girls got to wear that flowy. Yeah, that wasn't fair, but that's fine. And then
she wanted to blow.
Honey, by the time I was 17, the director had quit. And so they were like, well, who wants to do it? Nobody wants to do it. I stepped right up there. I was the oldest one too. Okay, I'll show you the numbers. And so that's when I got to show them how I want them to be. And I was like, oh, this is cute. But of course, I couldn't perform because the church ain't gonna let me do that. But I could at least be there for the girls. But I kind of got back on production, so I grabbed the fans and I grabbed fog machines. I'm like, okay, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. So production was everything to me. But then coming out and like we said, the last time I was on live, but like coming out and I got kicked out. My first drag show, one of my friends was like, "We're going to this gay club. You just got kicked out. Let's enjoy ourselves. It's 18 to get in." And I was like, "Okay." Anybody know Wilmington? Was only one club, it's Crimson Moon, but that's not where we went because Crimson Moon.
You went to Oddity Bar.
No, I did not. I went to 814. Most people don't know about 814. It was a hole in the wall, honey. But it was I had shows every night. Every night. They didn't care if one person showed up. They had shows every single night. And so I'm sitting in the crowd, scared as all hell, shaking. I don't know what's about to happen. And out on the stage walks Rome and Tina Montgomery. And I went. And then afterwards, they were tipping her and they're trying to talk to her. And I was like, "Oh, we can talk to her?" You would have thought that literally I was on the red carpet. Can I please? Actually, I came up to her and she said, "You want to have a drink with me?" And I said, "Yeah." So we sat down, we talked, had a drink. I left. I was on cloud 9. 3 months later, at 18, she didn't know how old I was. She knows now, but we talk about it all the time. She knows now. But then I met a friend that will not be named, and they said, "You have wonderful cheekbones. I'm gonna put you in drag." I was like, "Oh my god, yes, right now, right now." And it's a history after that. But I've always loved the production side. I love that. Anybody who's worked with me can see that. I want where the lights at, or where's the fan at. I was the one calling the club. Am I allowed to bring a fog machine?
You're like, where's the Obama picture?
Frankie Bradley.
I have my own stuff. Can I bring it?
I love that.
Oh my gosh! Like y'all talking about production. My dream fucking stage situation is like a fucking metal show. Like I want fucking lights. I want sparklers. I want my shit to look like a Janet Jackson fucking concert with mixing with a fucking Led Zeppelin concert. If you marry those two together with some neon lights,
okay. Now, no, the stage I was given is not that big. I have to be part of production at Jocks. Okay.
Now listen. I think honestly, from what I hear, the common theme is that we all really do like high end production. I know me personally, watching Beyonce come in upside down performing Baby Boy VMAs 2001. For me, I always wanted, and her hair was so fucked up after because we didn't work out the kinks.
Just right.
Baby, I want to tell you, I want to enter a Black Girl Magic upside down once. It's gonna happen one day.
Look, so I want to say, I just want to come in from upside down. I'm different. I am very different. I do love watching a big production, but I feel like I just want to be there, like black background, me in an elegant gown or pants.
Beautiful gown.
And that's still production.
Look, or pantsuit, something simple but sparkly, and just me reciting shit.
Before or after you?
I think that when I think of Paula, I think of cabaret.
Like the musical cabaret, Liza Minnelli?
I think that you're a cabaret artist.
Yeah, I agree.
I know, that's so true. Well, y'all, listen, we are definitely over time, but I appreciate you all for watching. We will continue this conversation next week. What an amazing time that we've had. Again, just going back, digital blackface is not okay. So if you are white, make sure you please do not send any black emojis. Please don't be on TikTok trying to lip sync Nene Leakes' monologue. Just be more apparent and be more cautious and educate yourself on things. Also, if you are a leader in this community that watched the town hall, please rewatch it because some of you do need to. And please realize that just because you book a black show one week and an all-white show the next week, it's very problematic. So make sure the whole all-white show things really just need to be done. And if you don't know any black performers, educate yourself because there are tons and hundreds of black performers in this city, so that can no longer be an excuse. Also, what else did we talk about today? I forgot. What happened? Well, yeah, and do all that, and also I forgot what else I was, because I had a little list, but so I like to do my little Jerry Springer wrap up.
The black woman.
Yeah, that. Oh my God. But also, oh my God. Yeah, that. But yeah. So it's and also I love hearing all of our performance and what inspired us, and I love each and every one of you. Again, thank you so much to my lovely drag daughter Paula Deen-White. Everybody, yes. Thank you, first timer and not a last timer. We'll see you back here, Marcus G. Thank you so much, Marcus.
Love you, Marcus.
Love you, Marcus. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Diva Luvsit, for always showing up and turning it out. We love you. Thank you so much, Sapphira Cristal, for always working it and twerking it with your freaking claw. I can't take it. And of course, it's their birthday week. Make some noise for Icon Ebony-Fierce. Love you so much. Yes, birthday. Icon, what do you want more? We'll talk. No, yeah, I would tell everybody. What do you want for your birthday? Like, what's the main thing that you want for your birthday? If it's not physical, like, what is it? Like, what do you want?
I don't know. You can tip me.
World peace. Tip Icon. World peace.
Also, I want people to, if you can't tip me, I want people to also support Kendall Stevens, who needs our help right now. She had a very, very, very horrible situation happen to her. So if anybody can, either support her financially or send her like your ultimate love and wishes as.
Yeah.
I'm getting tired, y'all.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go too deep into it, but yeah, it's just send her love. She needs it.
Yes. Yeah, and I definitely want to, Icon, I want to talk about that, not that situation, but I'm going to talk about in general, because I've actually now seen over 4 videos of Black trans women getting assaulted. So I definitely I should have brought that into this one, but I'll be talking about that one. That's the
whole episode.
Yeah, that's a whole episode. We're going to be talking about that one next week for sure, because Lord Jesus, it's just not happening, and it's from our own people, and I can't even take it, but we're going to end on a positive note. And I want to say thank you all again for watching and tuning in. Remember, being Black is not a TikTok dance. It's not a trend. For us, it is 24/7, 365 days of the year. If you're Portia Williams from Housewives, 265 days of the year. And only because that's what she said. That's what she said. She said that she was like, I do this 265 days a year. And Nene was like, what the fuck? It was great.
What happened to the last one?
But then also Portia was the one. Portia was the one that was like, I thought the Underground Railroad, like there had to be a captain, right? Remember that?
Maybe I should watch reality TV.
Yeah, you should. Because Portia was like, she said, there had to be train tracks. And Phaedra was like, there was no, that was amazing.
Girl.
Anyway, so thank you all again for watching. What an amazing time. I always have a good time with y'all. And also, if y'all did not know, I got my own website. Visit me at vinchell.com, darling. You can check me out, all my upcoming events, all my Mass Monday photos, all the fun stuff, some backstage tea. And I also have a shop where you can buy, my voice cracked. I have a shop where you can buy yourself you can pre-order yourself a Vinchell pin. Diva, I want to talk to you about t-shirts soon because I want to have my t-shirt. Everyone's been hitting me up about some damn t-shirts. I'm getting them soon, I promise. And you can also get yourself a lovely 8x11 signed personal photograph.
Oh my gosh, can I get one with a wig that you need to get me?
Yes, Paula. Yes, Paula. But I appreciate you all. And I've actually been selling some stuff. So I love you all for all your support and your love, and I appreciate it. So definitely check me out online. Icon has a new Patreon page. Check that out online as well. Jocks PHL. Make sure you check out Jocks PHL. They have tons of shows, Black owned, tons of Black gay owned, tons of great shows, and also the management team is primarily Black as well. So we love that. And Diva can tell you there's so many great events coming up. Like Madhouse with Donix every single Sunday on
I'll be in that this Sunday.
That's a delicious and strong.
You can go. The to-go drinks are delicious and strong. So please help and support Jocks. All you can get and also Turnout Tuesday. It's every single Tuesday at 8 p.m. on the Facebook page, right before Icon Show. So we do that, and then we go right to Icon Show. So definitely check that out. And also, this Friday, myself, Icon, and Eric Jaffe are going to be watching Canada's Drag Race like we love to do. And where'd you go? Damn.
I was showing my flyer on my thing.
I was like, damn,
No.
I was like, oh no. But yeah, so you can check out us right here on the Vent Show page as we watch some Canada's Drag Race. We're almost done with that. So that starts at 8 o'clock on Friday. And of course, Black Girl Magic will be back in September working on a date. I'll be streaming live from Voyeur all by myself. And we're going to be still having people in, and we're getting sponsored. So people are going to be getting paid, and we're going to be having a very fun theme that I'll be announcing soon. Again, thank you all so much for your love and your support. I shall see y'all soon. Stay safe, stay socially distant, and stay socially aware of what you do. Thank you.